Are you planning a trip for business or leisure and looking for the most direct and economic offers, but you're confused? And instead of heading to the internet and searching websites for best deals, you simply need to contact the travel professionals at Mahipaul Travel Service, 45 Water Street, Georgetown. Their well-trained travel advisors with years of experience will assist you in booking your flights, accessing all airlines, hotels, car rentals at the most competitive prices to match your budget. Their customer service is second to none. Their qualified travel consultants will make you dream of seeing the world and ensuring your trip be the perfect one. A travel experience beyond your expectations. They'll give you the best value to save time and money. Provide 24-hour service to fix problems if things go wrong during your trip. Giving you options you haven't considered if you haven't decided where you want to go. Arrange group travel. Accepting all major credit cards, both local and overseas. Daily deals available, which are also available online. So call, visit or email them to have the experience of their immaculate service. Mahipaul Travel Service, 45 Water Street, Georgetown. 592-227-6992 or 225-2947 or drop us an email mahipaultravel@yahoo.com.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Welcome to today's edition of the Vantage Point. On today's program, I'll be talking with Mr. Ganesh Mahipaul. He is the Regional Communications Official for the Region 3 Administration. Welcome to today's program.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, first up, can you just give me an update on some of the major projects that were undertaken in Region 3 between 2019 and whether they have been completed or just a progress report on them?
Well, I'm pleased to first of all allow me to wish all your viewers a happy and productive 2020. And I do hope that it becomes a very successful year for not only Guyana but the world as a whole as we search for peace, so to speak. With reference to your question and as it pertains to our 2019 status report, I'm happy to report that we have completed 100% of our capital expenditure, and we are pleased about our achievement. We have aimed to bring improvements to the lives of our people in all aspects, whether it's education, agriculture, health, or general administration. We have done exceptionally well, and we're very pleased about our achievement, and more so our accomplishment, that is, we have completed over 100%, well, directly at 100%.
Okay, in terms of the agriculture sector, what are some of the major projects that were undertaken last year?
In agriculture, we focused on farm-to-market roads, we focused on culverts, we focused on improving drainage, we focused on improving generally the drainage and irrigation aspect, because that is a problem that most of our farmers face. And we have had many community engagements in 2018 and even before that, 2017, where farmers would have made their requests as to what is it that they're looking for from the administration in terms of their assistance. That is how we are guided. We don't just ad hocly do things without the approval of the persons who are to be benefiting. And the farmers, they indicated to us that they want a culvert here or a culvert there, or they need a farm to market road, or they need some drains to be dug, or they need excavation work for main canals and so on. And that is how we put together our budget, and then we submit it for approval. And once approved, we execute. I can tell you, for example, like in Tushin, we visited the REO, myself and NDIA officials. We were literally in a small boat traveling in a trench going down to Tushin, back down to see the plight of the workers, of the farmers there. And they showed us what were their problems. They gave us recommendation, and they asked us if we can build, I think it was 2 culverts. We did that. They asked us if we can clean the drains. We did that. They asked us if we can excavate a main canal. We did that. We went on the ground also at places like Salem, places like Hubu. These are areas that farmers utilize to bring their produce to the market, and they had dilapidated ramps and dilapidated stellings and so on. We renovated the one at Hubu. Hubu's stelling now serves as a transit point, because all those islanders from Murishi, from Aleki, from Bonasika, Fort Island and the likes, they come to that point there in Hubu. They offload and they take their produce to the market.
This is close to St. Lawrence you're talking about?
Yes, yes. Not far from St. Lawrence, but what it does, what that stelling does, is that it eases the problem that they used to face in terms of getting their produce from the boat to the truck and to the market. So these little improvements really significantly benefited the persons who are at the grassroots level, and in this case, our farmers.
The farmers. And that area is an arrangement happens with the farmers, the vendors. People go with trucks to collect stuff.
Yes, but what used to happen before this stelling, because it wasn't a proper stelling there before, what used to happen is that persons would have to fetch it from the boat and walk a great distance to the truck, and it consumes time. The perishability of the produce, it gets greater. And what this stelling does now is that it allows the truck to go on to the stelling. So it's from the boat into the trucks and off to the market. And it really improved their lives, because the time consumption is no longer great, and they get to go, and the road was even improved also, because one would recall going down that area, there was a very, very deplorable road there, but that's no longer there. So
that happened in 2016 or 2017?
2017, yes.
Yeah, I traversed that road at once, and I remember encountering difficulties with the car.
Yeah.
But now cars can go there.
And that is when we follow what President Granger is saying to us as a region, not just Region 3, but I've seen it across many other regions. But when you follow about bridging that gap between the rural and urban communities, it really means that you are lifting the lives of these people that are in this rural community, so that they can also have an enjoyable standard of living. Though they are accustomed to their way of life, which is farming in most areas and fishing and what's not, make it more comfortable for them, so that they can feel appreciated and know that development is hitting them. And we have been able to do that quite comfortably for the last 4.5 years.
Now, in terms of immigration, the islands, I read recently, we had covered some stories recently in Leg 1. We had some incidents where the cokers we have give way or that sort of thing. What is the maintenance aspect of the ministry's agenda like in terms of those infrastructure?
Well, some of the infrastructure, like the cokers that you made mention of, fall within the ambit of the NDC. Some fall within the ambit of the RDC, and some falls within the ambit of the
ministry,
the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, which is the Ministry of Agriculture. The cokers that were giving us problems, and some that still continue to give us problems, are the ones that fall within the ambit of the NDC. It is unfortunate that these NDCs are not doing what they were supposed to do or what they are mandated to do. And it trickles down to the politics of the day, and it trickles down to the type of politics. that is being played in these communities. But I do believe that once we continue on the agenda of educating our people, once we continue on the agenda of empowering our people, and once we continue on the agenda of really and truly empowering them to the state of understanding that they are the gatekeepers of their own future, they will understand that the actions they take will really hamper them and nobody else. So, for example, what has happened in Leg 1, which is unfortunate, at least it was reported to me that the NDC gave permission for the rice farmers to open the coker and for the intake of water, but it was not supervised. The process was not supervised, and thus it led to the flooding of these communities. And in some of the other coker areas, it was more or less a sabotage, so to speak, which is unfortunate again. To paint this perception that it's the APNU, AFC government that really is no good. That's how they want to paint the picture. But you know, when you're on the ground and you receive reports and you speak with people and you get the understanding of what people know is happening, you are able to assess whether people are falling for this perception or whether they really understand what is the reality. And I'm happy to say to you that the people of Leg 1, they know that the reality is the NDC has failed them, and they're not blaming this government for that kind of unfortunate activity. But I don't want to make it sound as though it is a fight between the NDC and government. The point to note here is that we have been empowered as a people with the reintroduction of local government elections. We have had 2 local government elections since this government ascended to office, and both local government elections, the NDC was won, this in particular Leg 1 NDC, was won by the People's Progressive Party, and they are the ones who are controlling the local affairs of that island. If the people believe that they are being fooled and they're being neglected and they're being given a perception that is not accurate, then all they simply need to do is that when we hold local government elections again in 2021, they vote and they vote accordingly. Their power lies in their vote. And if they want to see their island grow from strength to strength, then you have to vote for leaders that have you at heart and judge you on your issues and how you will deal with the issues. Performance. So
now, the islands, we have a couple of them. You have Hog Island, there's Fort Island, there, the 2 major ones, Leg 1 and Wakenham. Is it a challenge for the ministry to undertake its mandate within the islands itself?
Well, given that our country is a country with resources that are limited, we don't have resources, you know, big. Even if oil is coming, it's still a capped amount of resources, and we spend according to our budget and availability. The geography of our country will always present that challenge in terms of ensuring that you execute the work to the best of the ability. Yes, it does present a little bit of a challenge, but we have overcome some of these challenges by ensuring that we have excavators on these islands. There are excavators on Leg 1, Wakenham and Hog Island, and these excavators are doing drainage and irrigation work on a daily basis, bringing relief to the lives of the people who are living there. Farming now is way easier than what it was previously. And I think much kudos must be given to the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, because they have recognized that their input is necessary should we have maximum production, especially in farming.
Now, on the islands of Leg 1 and Wakenham, I recall several years ago I had visited there while I was at another newspaper, and there were 2 airstrips which were being built. I don't know if they're still in use, but a lot of people were criticizing the plan, you know, what sense it made. Have you seen anything happening in terms of that?
I know of the airstrip that is existing on the island of Wakenham. I know that it is a white elephant at this point in time, and that is because of where it was constructed. There are rules and regulations that govern flying, and I think tall buildings or trees and those kind of things, they must be clear. And there are a lot of other ramifications that has to do with flying, but I don't think they were able to circumvent. That's the people who are responsible for the Ministry of Public Infrastructure. They were not able to circumvent the problems that they are facing in terms of getting it operable, and given that when it was constructed also, it wasn't properly managed to say that it was protected from animals walking on the airstrip. People were playing cricket on the airstrip. People were farming on the extra land that is next to the airstrip. The idea behind it, I think, was ill-conceived, and I believe that maybe there is need to relook at the operations, but nonetheless, millions and even billions of dollars, taxpayers' money, were spent on the construction of these airstrips, and it's unfortunate that the government of the time thought of spending the taxpayers' money that way when it could have been invested in a more beneficial way to the people of both islands.
Now, one of the things that was mentioned when that airstrip at Wakenham was built was health delivery. Now, on the topic of health delivery, how has that been happening in recent years since this government came to office? In the islands in particular, especially if you have like emergencies and also the availability of drugs, what can you say about the health delivery?
Well, I want to tell you where is it that this administration is going with health delivery. And from a Region 3 standpoint, and our position is guided from the national policy on health. We do not believe that there is need for us to cluster Georgetown or the West Demerara Hospital. We believe that we have hospitals at Wakenham and Legwan. We have the complex or the area, the land space is big enough for us to develop these hospitals so that they can serve the people in the community. If we are going to look, if our thinking is that we're going to build an airstrip so that people can fly to Georgetown for medical attention, we are complicating the matter even more, because Georgetown is already inundated with patients at the Georgetown Public Hospital. And to just add more will just complicate the matter. I believe, and I do agree with the APNU AFC's vision, that they need to expand on the services that are being delivered at Wakenham Cottage Hospital and Legwan Cottage Hospital. We envisage having maternity wards, for example, there. We want to know that we have therapy rooms. We want to know that we have all the different departments that exist within the medical field at these hospitals so that they can provide the services to the people right there on the island. I don't support the notion of removing the services to another facility when we can actually improve the services there, and it will cause people to spend less. Like, for example, for you to fly somebody from Wakenham to Georgetown is very costly. Even right now, for them to come on the boat, it is very costly. And that is why the Ministry of Public Health, in conjunction with the Regional Administration Health Program, we have been looking to tackle the problem frontingly, to say that we are going to develop these hospitals on the island, so that they become service providers for the islanders. And that way the islands can even become more populated. People, instead of running from the islands, will love to go to the island and live. And I used to live on the island of Wakenham, and life on Wakenham is very, very nice.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about education. The government has a 5Bs program. How has that impacted education delivery?
Well, I am very, very proud of this government's achievement, especially in Region 3, as it relates to education delivery. I have been boasting that because of the policies and programs that have been implemented in the last 4.5 years, Region 3 is now boasting improvement in its education sector. There are 14 secondary schools in our region, and of the 14 in 2019, 13 of them would have been able to attain 50% and more matriculation, meaning that 50% and more of the total persons who wrote these exams at these schools achieved the maths and English within grades 1 to 3 and 3 other subjects to accompany it. But more so, of the 14 secondary schools, all 14 have achieved more than 50% actual pass rate in the total subjects that they wrote. The thing is, before these policies and programs, there was only one secondary school that persons would have recognized on the west side, and that is the West Demerara Secondary School. Do you know that Zeeburg Secondary School now is performing better than West Demerara Secondary School? I mean, when I say better, they're fighting for the top spot.
Which is good.
Yeah, which is very, very good. Competition is very good. Zeeburg recorded a 90% pass rate, and West Demerara recorded an 88% pass rate. The year before it was West Dem at 90 and Zeeburg at 88. Essequibo Island Secondary School, which is the secondary school in Wakenham, they recorded a more than 50% pass rate. Parika Salem Secondary School, Virgin Ocean Secondary School, Stortville Secondary School, Laventure Secondary School, Lenora Secondary School, all of these schools have seen great improvements in their academic results. And there are a number of reasons for that.
What are those reasons? What are some of the implementations?
Yeah, the first reason behind it is because the administration has been focused on making the learning environment more conducive to learning. So you would find that most of these schools that I've spoken of, and even at the primary level, they were given a facelift. They were given an aesthetic lift in terms of their image. So persons going to the school now, teachers and students, when they enter the compound, they feel comfortable knowing that they're in an environment that is not only clean, but it looks beautiful. So you're making the environment very conducive to learning. Then you have cases where the accessibility to information becomes easier because these schools are now accessible to internet. The NDMA, National Data Management Authority, they would have, through the Ministry of Public Telecommunications, would have given internet access to all these schools. So the availability of information is way easier. The curriculum, in terms of how the teachers are delivering, the monitoring of the delivery of the curriculum has been strengthened from the Department of Education level, and you also have teachers receiving a better salary. And all of these factors contribute towards changing the level of how our children operate. But we foresee in the future even greater results, because not only will we continue to build on where we are, but we envisage giving every child an electronic tablet so that they can have the textbooks downloaded on those tablets, and when they go to school now, they don't have to go with these heavy backpacks that are carrying 13, 14 textbooks. They can have the electronic version of the textbook on their tablets. So when your teacher say, let's read chapter 1 of a certain textbook, they take out their tablets and they can go through with it. Proper monitoring will ensure that we have good results.
Because children are attracted to these devices.
Exactly. So you have to compete in this technological age, and you cannot afford to still do the same thing the same way and expect different results. We have to adapt to the changes. We are in a technological environment, and we are competing with the first world countries and many other countries across the world. If we want to be on top, we got to get on top of the game, and we're doing that especially in the field of education. But to touch on the 5Bs program, our region, we are enjoying 2 David G buses, one that is servicing the West Coast and one that is servicing the West Bank. We benefited from hundreds of bicycles that even the islands, Wakenham and Leguan, they benefited from that also. We benefited from breakfast, we benefit from books, we benefit from boots. In fact, I think it's more than 5 Bs. There's a lot of Bs now. Yeah, a lot of Bs. But they're all going towards the children. And the benefit that the children are getting out of it is what we're seeing in our results. And we are very much appreciated.
So that is a positive feedback.
A very positive feedback. And we're thankful for the idea that was conceptualized by His Excellency President Granger, because it is him who the 5Bs program was birthed from. And all Guyana benefited, and all Guyana has seen improvement, especially in the field of education. And I support what he says. To become a rich nation, we have to become educated. And we're heading down that road. We're heading down that road.
Now, you mentioned road. Region 3 has seen a lot of improvement in terms of the the major roads and the finer roads. What are some of the things that have been done over the past year, or I would say over the past 2 to 3 years, to improve infrastructure in that regard?
Infrastructure is a priority on our agenda as a region, and I can see by extension the country, they have a priority in terms of infrastructure. And that is primarily because if you're going to develop a country and develop a society and develop a people, then you have to ensure that you have firm, fixed infrastructure that are permanent in place to create the avenue where you can build economically. Once there's sound infrastructure, then economic programs will be birthed from that. So the key to a successful economy and the key to a strong economy, the key to a robust economy is proper infrastructure. If I know you've asked about roads, but first of all, our sea defense, billions of dollars were spent there to protect the low coastal plain, because millions of dollars and billions of dollars have already been invested in our low coastal plain. Persons have built houses, persons have businesses, persons have their valuables. So the sea defense, billions of dollars, starting from Crane going straight down to Parika. You have a lot of sea defense structures that were redone, and it is now in a rip-rap structure way. So those monster waves that we used to get, they're still there, but they don't get to come over because it's broken up at the foot of the rip-rap structure. Anybody can take a walk. I can remember Pagwa time. A Pagwa time at Lenora where Cottage Hospital, it was flooded out because of the monster waves. But now there's a proper rip-rap structure there and the waves are not coming over. So we started to spend billions of dollars on our infrastructure in the field of sea defense, which is critical and important. In the aspect of bridges, we are no longer building wooden bridges. If you travel this country, you will see that this administration has invested in building concrete, reinforced concrete bridges. And there's a reason behind that. We don't want to build a bridge with timber and then we have to go back to it at 2-3 years. Where are we going with that? But if you do a proper concrete structure that can last for probably 100 years, you're able to spend money now on something else and you don't have to go back there. Even the roads, we are not going to do chip seal roads or loom dam or what's now. We're dealing with asphaltic concrete roads. We have done roads and bridges at Parika. We have done, first of all, Wakenham, I must tell you. Wakenham had the most deplorable roads that I could ever, since I've known myself, Wakenham roads have been in a bad state. Leg 1 roads too. When we took government, and you know, Alva, I must make this point. Our spending of resources was never and will never be on the premise of who is a supporter of the government or who's not a supporter of the government. Wakenham, for example, and Leg 1, they predominantly support the opposition and they vote along the lines of the opposition. If my memory serves me correctly, in Wakenham they got, I think, 1,600 votes in the of total that was cast. The APNU, AFC, they got 300 and something votes. But we did not shortchange Wakenham from having a proper road. Wakenham enjoys a proper road now. We did not shortchange them from enjoying the street lights. We did not shortchange them from enjoying bridges or development at the school level or at the health facilities. Because if we are going to move our country together as a people, we have to show that we are one people in one nation with one destiny. And that is what I enjoy most of all with President Granger. Wakenham benefited from road, light and water. Leg 1 the same. Parika, no exception. Tushin New Scheme, they have a asphaltic concrete road in the entire Tushin New Scheme. Stewartville benefited, Denhamstel benefited, Parfait Harmony benefited, Lagrange benefited. The Lenora Cottage Hospital road was built to the benefit of the people that are utilizing it. There's a new reinforced concrete bridge there. We have an early childhood development center there also. A parking lot was even open at Lenora Cottage Hospital area. We have a new maternity ward that was constructed at Lenora Cottage Hospital. And that is in keeping with also what I said earlier about the health sector. We are not going to centralize the services of the health sector to the West Demerara Regional Hospital. We have Lenora Cottage Hospital, Wakenham Cottage Hospital, and Legwan Cottage Hospital, we are going to decentralize the services so that people can access them anywhere they are. So if you have people from the islands, they can go to one of the island hospital. If you have persons on the East Bank, Essequibo, and the west coast of Demerara, they can visit the Lenora Cottage Hospital. We have to ensure that the services are decentralized. That way it becomes easier to access, and our people are more comfortable with the delivery.
Now, this is an election year. It's an important year for us. Going ahead, how do you foresee development in Region 3? The chances are, you know, for a re-election of the government. I know you have your own opinions and so, but going ahead in terms of a vision, how do you see Region 3 developing?
Well, I don't know what is your position, but mine is with the government. And I am embracing the government on the basis of me seeing that they have decentralized the services and they have ensured that they have equitably distributed the resources that they have, much to the benefit of every Guyanese. And I'm happy about that. And I'm happy to know that I can see my people who are in the far-flung areas of my region boasting that they are enjoying some level of improvement, one way or another, that has hit them, and they welcome it. 4.5 years is not a long period of time, and it was not sufficient for the government to finish delivering this good life that they have promised. And the interpretation of the good life for everybody means differently. For example, we are enjoying potable water, but when you can hear that a person in Namles on the east bank of Essequibo, when you can hear a person from Namles saying, "I'm getting pipe water now," that is the good life for them. But we were getting that all the time. So sometimes you hear the people saying that finally I get a proper bridge to walk on, when they were not walking on one all the time. That is the good life for them. When you hear people saying, "No longer I have to put on my long boots to walk through mud, I'm walking on paved roads," that is a good life for them. So the good life really means something differently for everybody. And that is primarily because across the region and across the country, different areas face different problems. And President Granger's vision, at least what I know he has mandated us to do, is to lift the people out of their nightmare. And the nightmare is what they're facing. And if we're going to do it equitably, then we have to bring everyone to one standard before we start moving everybody equally. And I am going to embrace the way we are moving, much to the appreciation that people have even seen that there is a difference. You see, Alpha, there's perception and then there's reality. And there are more persons that have access to information now with all these radio stations that are open and all these freedom of the press things that are happening now. Persons are judging based on reality, and they're not falling prey to perception. So, for example, the political opposition, they may want to continue to say, this is so, and this is so, and this is so, but people are educating themselves, they are more exposed to information, they are able to cast a judgment, and they're going to make their decision on sound footing, and they're going to realize that indeed David Granger is the man for this country.
Okay, Mr. Mahipaul, thanks for talking with us today about
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Developments in the region.
Thank you.
So that was Mr. Mahipaul. He was giving us an update on the developments, the projects, various projects undergoing in Region 3. Most of which, actually he said 100% of them have been completed in 2019, and there are also other projects which are planned for this year. Thanks for watching today's program. Do remember to follow us on our website, www.guyanachronicle.com, and you can also follow us on our Facebook page. Thanks once again.
Are you planning a trip for business or leisure and looking for the most direct and economic offers? But you confused? And instead of heading to the internet and searching websites for best deals, you simply need to contact the travel professionals at Munishwar Travel Service, 45 Water Street, Georgetown. Their well-trained travel advisors with years of experience will assist you in booking your flights, accessing all airlines, hotels, car rentals at the most competitive prices to match your budget. Their customer service is second to none. Their qualified travel consultants will make you dream of seeing the world and ensuring your trip be the perfect one. A travel experience beyond your expectations. They'll give you the best value to save time and money. Provide 24-hour service to fix problems if things go wrong during your trip. Giving you options you haven't considered if you haven't decided where you want to go. Arrange group travel. Accepting all major credit cards, both local and overseas. Daily deals available, which are also available online. So call, visit or email them to have the experience of their immaculate service. Munishwar Travel Service, 45 Water Street, Georgetown, 592-227.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.